Welcome to the Trading Bell Show. As you can see, we're right here at KPC, Kenya Pipeline Company. I'll be having a conversation with Joe Sang, the Chief Executive, who is really running this corporation, and they are profitable. Mr. Sang holds an MBA in Strategy, a Bachelor of Arts in Economics, and is a CPA. With over 20 years of hands-on experience, he has held senior managerial positions in various organizations, including parastatals and multinational corporations. His previous roles include General Manager Finance and Strategy at KPC, Head of Group Business Performance and Planning at East Africa Breweries Limited, Finance Director at East Africa Maltings Limited, Management Consultant at Unga Group, and Financial Accountant at National Oil Corporation of Kenya. As Managing Director of Kenya Pipeline Company, Mr. Sang oversees pipeline operations, strategic planning, stakeholder management, and ensures compliance with regulatory standards. His diverse experience in finance, management, and strategic planning equips him to lead KPC as Africa's premier oil and gas company. Joe Sang, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Good.
And thank you for having us here. And this being the first inaugural conversation on the Trading Bell Show, I would like our viewers to really not just make an assumption by asking you, KPC, we talk a lot about it, we hear pipeline matters and all that. Really, what did you say in brief is your mandate to Kenyans?
All right, so as you know, Kenya Pipeline Company is 100% owned by the government of Kenya.
Yes.
And our mandate is to store, transport petroleum products from the source, which is Mombasa, all the way to the Italan.
Yes.
Our vision is to be Africa's premier oil and gas company.
Yeah.
Our core mandate is to ensure security of supply of petroleum products across the country and the region.
Wow. And you've been in existence for quite some time?
Actually, we celebrated 50 years.
Wow.
Last year in September.
Okay.
So we are 50 years old.
Okay. Let's talk strategy and really just getting to understand you. What are some of your key strategic pillars as KPC, probably even in the next few years or so?
Yeah, so a big one for us is we have about 5 key pillars that underpins our strategy.
Yeah.
The first one is about our people.
Yeah.
Yeah, creating an environment for the best place to be for our employees.
Yeah.
The second one is image and reputation, to ensure that people like yourselves, the media, gets to hear what we do. We want to be a force for good in society.
Okay.
We do quite a lot in terms of the CSR space, touching the communities along the right of way, and I'm sure we'll dwell into that in our conversation today.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Fortress in Kenya is a market share.
Yeah.
Most of the petroleum products that we transport, about 60%. Of which is close to about over 90% is consumed here in Kenya. Yeah. The rest are transported to the region. Geographic expansion is another key pillar for us. Yeah. Which is basically we are looking at to move beyond Kenya across our borders. Okay. So today we serve customers in Uganda. We serve close to about 90% of Uganda market. We do serve Rwanda, small areas of Burundi. Yeah. We also do South Sudan as well as the greater DRC. So really we are an East African company owned by the government of Kenya.
Great. And we shall be talking about your expansion and what you see as the bigger picture. But first, before we get there, you have been in different conversations I've had with other different stakeholders, and you're touted as one of the best performing, if I may use that word, government entity. And I just wanted to, first of all, understand, how have you been performing so that people can understand? Sometimes we only hear the billions, but please go ahead.
That's a very good question.
Yes.
In terms of business performance, and this is, I'll touch on the profit before tax. Yes. Which really, that's where the businesses are measured. When I came in, as you know, I'm now about 1.5 years old, back into this seat. Yes. The profit before tax of the financial year for government is July, runs all the way to June. Yes. The profit before tax in 2021-22, we had a profit before tax of 6.1 billion. Wow. Last year, ending June, we grew that number from 6.1 to 7.6 B. Ah. Yeah. Good. The year that ended this year in June, we've actually been able to, we are going to post shortly very, very strong performance. and our performance is going to move to double digits.
Yes.
We are actually going to record over 10 billion.
Wow.
Profit before tax.
Okay.
Ours has been achieved. This has been achieved not because there's been no price increase.
Yes.
It's really about the environment we've created for our people.
Yeah.
People have been able to be innovative in terms of what they do. People have been able to be cautious about the cost, cost containment.
Yeah.
And we've been able to optimize and reach out to our customers more. So we've been able to see an increased uptake in some of our regional markets.
Yeah.
And that has come in to add to our bottom line.
Okay.
So from a business performance perspective,
yes,
I'll say we've done extremely well.
Okay.
And we are looking this financial year, which you've started, to go beyond 12 billion.
Wow.
So that means I'll have double.
Yes.
With my team.
Okay.
This business from 6.5 or 6.1 billion to over 12 B in 3 years.
Yeah.
There are very few companies.
Yes.
Who are able to do that.
Absolutely.
Especially in times like now.
Yeah, you're right.
Something also to point out is we've also been able to pay dividends.
Yeah.
To our shareholder. As I said, we are owned by National Treasury.
Yes.
And the year ended June this year. It's about 2 weeks ago. In total, we paid a dividend of 7.5 billion. And this is a show that we are truly a commercial entity of government that is able to pay back dividends in a big way.
Excellent. And this is quite impressive, and congratulations for your leadership on this. You've mentioned you have been really, for you to achieve these numbers is a lot that has gone behind the scenes of innovation and all that. I'm curious to ask you, because you've mentioned a few countries here and there, especially in the East African bloc, that you are really working with. Are they some of the contributors to these revenues, and is this something that you're looking at to really continue on expanding your revenues?
Yes, so in a year, we do get in close to about 9 billion liters of petroleum products through the Kenyan route. The Kenyan route means the port of Mombasa is a gateway for East Africa. Yeah. About 6 billion of that is consumed in Kenya. Yeah. About 60%. Yeah. The rest is consumed in the region. And we've now seen an increase in market share, especially in Uganda. And shortly, we've been in conversation with the UNOC, which is the Uganda National Oil Company. And beginning this month, they'll be uptaking 100% of their products through Kenya. Wow. Which is a very huge initiative led by our cabinet secretary. Okay. Together with we've done a lot of stuff with our marketing teams. Okay. And we've seen that come through. Okay. We've also been in conversations with Rwanda. Yeah. And Rwanda, we had lost that market. The last time we used to have a big stake in Rwanda market. It's about 50 million liters a month. Yeah. It was the year 2007, which is close to about 15 years ago. We've seen increased appetite by the Rwandese market. Yeah. We were there about 3-4 weeks ago as part of the African CEOs Forum. And we met with the oil marketers, and shortly we'll be signing with Rwanda. So we'll be winning back the Rwanda market. We've also seen an uptick in DRC. Yeah. The coal mines, especially the eastern part of DRC. We've seen very, very keen interest from the oil marketers preferring our route. Okay. So the regional marketplace for us has been really big. Maybe on the same breath, we're talking about regional market. Sometimes I hear things pop up in the news here and there. It looks like there's a lot of diplomacy that has to go ahead, because I am happy to hear what you've just said, that you're about to sign up with Uganda, some of these big agreements that you have. How are you navigating this geopolitics? Sometimes that pop up, you hear, I hear some uproar from one end, maybe our regional ways of taxing and pricing, all that kind of thing. How are you navigating that? That's a good question. I think with geopolitics, yes, indeed they are there, but bottom line is about the economics. Okay. What is that price of per liter that is going to get to the end consumer? Okay. So I think increasingly they are finding our corridor cheaper than the other corridors. Okay. Yes. I'll ask you about your future plans at the end, but let me first of all move into matters ESG. Okay. And the reason is because you
and your peers, if I may use that, globally,
Yes.
are easily touted as some of the people who need to be very careful to take care of our environment and everything else. But let's talk about your ESG and sustainability matters. How are you embedding this into your company to ensure that you're coexisting with us and the human and the globe well?
Great, that's a good question. Yeah. We are actually doing a lot in that space. And as you know, today we are 100% fuel company.
Yes.
We are looking to diversify the business. There's, and you'll be hearing shortly from the leadership.
Yes.
The LBG,
yeah.
The government of Kenya has given Kenya Pipeline the mandate to implement what we call the LBG growth strategy for the country.
Okay.
And together with the private sector participants, we'll be putting a 30 million capacity LBG bulk storage in Mombasa. You might be, I'm sure you're aware that we recently acquired Kenya Petroleum Refineries, which is also 100% owned by the government of Kenya. Yeah. It's now 100% owned by Kenya Pipeline, and it's sitting on 377 acres of land, front sea, facing the sea. And we want to use it for many initiatives. One of them is the LBG, which is called the transition energy. Yes. And I'm sure you have the statistics. Yeah. Today, the country, the LBG is measured on a per capita. So Kenya is 5.2 kilograms per capita. The government ambition is to be able then to increase that threefold, to move it to 15 kilograms per capita by the year 2028. Okay. So it's a 4-year journey. Okay. Other initiatives also we are pursuing is this building today. We're using solar. Yes. So initiatives, you want to see how we can maximize the use of solar so that we're able to reduce on electricity. Okay. That's another initiative we are on. Okay. The other initiatives is we have some of what we call the frequency, the variable frequency drives that are energy saving. So we have a lot of technology, I'll say, enabled instruments that are able to assist us as a company. Okay. And the other big one, which I'll not forget, is we are big in tree planting. We've adopted a forest called, for the last 3-4 years now, we are working with a community in Changamwe. It's called the Jomvu Creek. Yes. The Jomvu Creek is, that's where the mangrove. So far we planted close to 500,000 mangrove trees as part of our carbon offset. This year alone we've done over 240,000. Yes. And it's a big for us because it touches on the entire ecosystem. Yeah. So tree planting is going to be big for us. We're also working with the forest. Our ministry work even the forest of Baringo. Yes. There's a forest called Narasha, and we have a target to grow 138,000 trees per year. Okay. So the target for the ministry is about 8 million. If we combine with the initiative we've been running with, the Jomvu Creek, we are targeting over 10 million. Excellent. In the next 10 years. Okay. Thank you for that. We want to take a quick break and then we will be back to speak more about how, if at all this is going to happen, can you invest with them so that at least we can as well get a share of this. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Trading Bell. We are speaking to Joe Sang, the MD KPC. And just before we went on the break, I alerted him that I want to know whether we have room as well as Kenyans to as well, one of these fine days as well, get a share of it. Joe, let me ask you, what really informed this and what do you hope to achieve out of this? As you're aware, we've been on what we call a lease arrangement with Kenya Petroleum Refineries for the last 7 years, from 2017. Okay. Lease arrangement means you are taking care of the employees, the cost in there. The government now is in the process of, as you're aware, merging and amalgamating. You're right. Like parastatals. And because we are dealing with petroleum products, which is similar to what KPRL were doing with formerly crude, then it gives the government and it gives Kenya Pipeline an opportunity to maximize in that space. So we are looking at how do we optimize the over 300 acres sitting in there. Okay. So we have plans to put in the trading hub and being able to even solve not only Kenya but the region. We are looking to touch on close about 12 countries in the large East Africa, all the way down south, Mozambique.
Yeah.
And we've seen increased appetite, especially from the private sector. Coming in. We had a team from ADNOC. We have the Saudis. So people are very keen. We're also looking at other initiatives, such as the biorefinery. We have some interest in that to use the old refinery, which is now moribund. It stopped operations in 2013. And we've seen some interest in terms of setting up a power refinery. So that's another initiative. We're also looking to set up the strategic reserves for the country. Today, the stocks that we have can only last this country close to about 30 days. But ideally, we should have close to 90 days. So then we are looking to partner with private sector to be able then to increase the cover of the stock days, again, for the country and the region. We're also looking to set up, the school of capacity building. So we have major plans. We are coming up with a master plan that is able then to inform every piece of investment we'll be making at Kenya Petroleum Refineries. So we have big plans, and we'll be able to invite you and update you on the plans as we go along.
You're right.
But the immediate one will be the LPG, which is we should be finalizing the contract signing in the next 2 weeks. We shortly to be followed by the trading hub and then the power refinery.
Joe, let me ask you. You, as I said again, are touted to be one of the best performing government entity, if I may use that word. And this being the Trading Bell show, sometimes we like asking the question, do you ever foresee yourself listed and hopefully, allowing Kenyans to partake of the company?
I'll say as a government entity, we are alive with the fact that government policy changes from time to time. We will be ready as a company to basically go in line with the government, what the government wants.
You're right.
If the government was to privatize Kenya Pipeline through an IPO, I'm sure companies like Kengen and KPLC, they're already in that space. And the beauty about it is no single employee. Because normally there's always the fear of what happens to our jobs. And what we saw in Kengen and Kenya Power, no single employee lost their jobs. So it's really an assurance that privatization, if it goes that route, will be supportive of government efforts.
You're right.
So long as it maximizes or optimizes the value to the shareholder.
Fair enough. And we look forward to that day.
To more progress, absolutely,
So the energy sector, which you are a very big player in that, keeps experiencing what I would call innovation changes here and there. We are talking where the globe, you can tell, is moving and more concerned, as you've spoken about sustainability, more concerned of how can we be, using less and less of, what we would call things that affect the environment and the likes and all that. And I know in your seat, you sit there and you're also thinking about all these things, as you've explained a little bit. But just wanted to ask you, when you talk about the challenges and the innovations you see coming up, and I know you sit there ensuring that KPC still remains profitable as it is now, what's in your in-tray in terms of the challenges that you have to wake up every morning and think about? I know there could be many, but just mention one or two that you think you're constantly thinking through.
All right, so allow me first, before we discuss the challenges, perhaps I can share on some of the innovations and other areas of diversification that we are running with as a company. What we've done with the engineers, which is a great innovation, is the world today in our loading stations in moving away from what we call the top loading, where a truck will be loaded from the top. We are now using what we call the bottom loading. And the other day I was in Nakuru. Initiatives done by our own engineers. We are now loading the trucks from the bottom. So it's time saving, as well as they say it's very safe. So it's very efficient, and these are some of the innovations that we'll continue encouraging in our company. The other area of diversification, which probably it will be a good opportunity to mention at this point, is along our pipeline, we have what we call the fiber optic cable. And it's a dark fiber. Our plans now is to commercialize it. Commercializing it means you have to light it. You have to keep putting active equipment in it. So we have plans to put in active equipment so that then we can enable the private sector to take it to the last mile. Yes. The last mile means to the end consumer.
Absolutely.
And this would be able then to support the government key initiative of, as you know, the digital superhighway. And the government is targeting over 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic.
Yes.
And Kenya Pipeline is one of the government entities that have been identified.
Excellent.
And therefore, F4C, fiber optic for us would be big.
Okay.
In terms of then the challenges you've asked, as you know, we're running a pipeline which is buried.
Yeah.
And from time to time, we've had cases of vandalism. Yeah. We've not had it the last 6 months, which is good. Great. Last year, we had an incident in a place called Mamboleo in Kisumu, where some criminals are trying to tap our pipeline illegally. We've also had some instances here in Gong Forest. So what we are doing about it is to continuously invest in technology. And we've just rolled out what we call the LDS, the leak detection system. We also have something called the SCADA. And shortly we'll be putting in place what we call the pipeline intrusion system. So it's been a big challenge in terms of securing our installation. As you know, petroleum products is quick cash. Yeah. They're able to sell it and it's being used every day. So I'll call it as a big challenge. Yes.
Thank you for that. I know you could have highlighted more, but I just wanted that one, or the main one. As we come to a close of this conversation, what is your outlook? And when you're thinking about really moving the company, you know, to still within your strategy and growth, what's your outlook in the next coming years?
All right. So the outlook for us is we'll move away from being a pipeline company to a fully diversified oil and gas company. What I mean by that is we'll be generating money from the fiber optic.
Yes.
Yeah. We are generating today, but using the dark fiber. But once we light it, it will be a big revenue stream for us.
Yes.
We'll be generating money from the LBG, which is a new transition, as we say.
Yes.
We'll also be active in capacity building. Today we are working with county governments. We have a school. It's called the Morandat School of the Morandat Institute of Oil and Gas.
Yes.
And it's now considered as a national polytechnic. So it's also going to be a revenue stream. We're also looking now to maximize on the regional markets. So in a nutshell, the outlook will be more of a diversified business as it is today. And this is informed by our strategy to then be able to look beyond our borders. And as I said, we currently, like a market like Rwanda today, we are serving close to about 3-4%. We want to at least get to about 80% of Rwanda market. We want to get to about 60-70% of the DRC market. So regional market will also be a big one for us.
Thank you so much for your time. I have to close with this question. You look so fit. What's your secret?
Thank you very much. So I keep fit. I play golf. I'm an avid golfer, and I play golf on a Saturday. Single handicap for that case. I also do run. I run for purpose, and I'll be participating in my first major marathon this year. I'll be going to Chicago in October 13th, and I hope to participate and make this country proud.
Wow.
Excellent.
And you know, we have our very own Faith Kipyegon. Have you seen the records?
Yes, he's smashing records, and we are very proud of her.
By the way, I saw you at the Africa CEO Forum as well. What's one key takeout?
I was invited, and I was one of the panelists in that session. And basically, it was about the digital space. So the future is about digital. Everything we do. We've seen how the Gen Zs, everything is moving digital. And even our operations today. How do we move into paperless offices? How do we ensure that we use technology to better serve our customers? So for me, that was a big takeout. And the future is digital.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. And I appreciate it.
Asante sana.
Excellent.
There you have it. That's Joe Sang, the MD KPC, speaking as it is, and really optimistic about the future of KPC. And he says we will no longer just be about oil and gas, but more. Thank you so much for your time. I leave you now with the best.